Hi, welcome to my channel Stars of Terra. Every story you hear here is told in my own real voice. Real emotion, real effort, no reuse content, original human storytelling. So let's begin. Humanity first found them in a region of space long avoided by every known civilization. The sector was catalogued as INC 7419 expanse, but most pilots called it the graveyard. It was a place where stars had died billions of years ago, leaving only cold spheres of collapsed matter and drifting clouds of ash. No warmth, no light, no usable energy remained there. Sensors detected nothing but gravitational scars and radiation echoes from ancient supernovas. That was why the signal made no sense. The transmission did not originate from a living star system. It pulsed steadily from the orbit of a dead sun, a blackened stellar core that emitted no heat. At first, scientists assumed it was an error in the equipment. Then they realized the pattern was deliberate. Someone or something was alive beside a dead star. The exploration vessel Ardent Horizon entered the expanse cautiously. Its crew expected pirates, rogue AI, or perhaps a hidden military outpost. Instead, they found structures wrapped around the corpse of a collapsed sun, vast ring-like formations. Shimmered faintly with internal energy, they glowed not with fusion light but with something colder and deeper. The crew felt an unease no training had prepared them for. Who would choose to live where even light had given up? Then the answer came in a second transmission. It was not a threat, it was a greeting. The species called themselves the Narkai. Translated loosely, it meant children of the final ember. They had not merely settled near dead stars, they had bonded with them, and humanity was about to learn what that truly meant. The Narkai did not resemble any life form catalogued in known space. They were not carbon-based in the way humans understood life. Their bodies appeared semi-translucent, shifting like liquid crystals suspended in gravity fields. At their center pulsed a dark core, mirroring the collapsed stars they inhabited. Their ambassador materialized inside the Ardent Horizon's containment chamber without a ship. It did not require atmosphere or temperature regulation. It radiated a calm gravitational pressure instead of heat. Through harmonic translation algorithms, the Narkai explained their origin. They had once evolved on a normal star-bearing world, but their sun had died prematurely in a catastrophic collapse. Rather than flee, they studied the corpse of their star. They learned that even a dead sun was not truly empty. Inside a stellar remnant existed immense gravitational energy, not heat, not light, but compressed space-time tension. The Narkai evolved technology that allowed them to feed on that tension. Eventually, their biology adapted to it as well. They did not harvest dead stars, they bonded with them. Each Narkai individual synchronized with the gravitational signature of a stellar corpse. The bond was lifelong and symbiotic. The star provided stability and energy. The Narkai maintained its balance, preventing catastrophic collapse into unstable singularities. In essence, they kept dead suns from tearing space apart. The graveyard was not a wasteland. It was a sanctuary for billions of years. They had quietly stabilized regions of space that would otherwise have become gravitational disasters, and no one had ever noticed until humanity arrived. Humanity's expansion across the galaxy had been ambitious and relentless. New colonies demanded energy. Artificial stars were ignited to power megastructures. Black holes were harvested carefully under strict regulation. But in a distant frontier sector, a human corporation violated those regulations. They discovered a cluster of dormant stellar cores similar to those in the graveyard. Seeing only unused resources, they initiated extraction operations. When the first core destabilized, the results were catastrophic. Space folded violently inward. Entire mining fleets were crushed into singularity fragments in seconds. The event triggered a chain reaction through nearby remnants. Sensors across known space registered gravitational shockwaves traveling faster than expected models predicted. The Narkai responded instantly. Hundreds of their bonded structures awakened around surrounding dead suns. They amplified their synchronization fields from a human perspective. It looked like dark halos igniting in silent defiance. The Narkai did not attack humanity. They contained the damage. Through coordinated gravitational modulation, they redistributed the collapse energy. They absorbed the instability into themselves and their bonded stars. Several Narkai perished in the process, their forms dissolving into pure gravitational resonance. Human observers watched in stunned silence. The graveyard trembled, but it did not fall. For the first time in recorded history, Humanity realized that dead stars were not abandoned relics. They were guarded, not by weapons, but by devotion, and the Narkai had just sacrificed their own to save a species that had not even known they existed after the catastrophe was contained. Humanity requested formal dialogue. The Narkai agreed. Though their sorrow was palpable even through translation systems, they explained the depth of the bond they shared with their stellar partners. To them, a dead sun was not a corpse, it was a memory compressed into gravity, a final echo of something that once gave light and life. When a Narkai bonded with a dead star, they merged consciousness partially with its gravitational field. They experienced its ancient history as ripples in space-time, every fusion reaction, every planetary orbit. Every flare became part of their awareness. To destroy a dead sun for energy was, in their perception, an act of erasing history itself. Human philosophers and astrophysicists debated fiercely, but the evidence was undeniable. The Narkai were correct. Dead stars, when destabilized, posed galaxy-wide risks if mishandled. A joint council was formed. Extraction in regions containing stellar remnants was permanently halted. Instead, humanity offered technological exchange. In return, the Narkai shared their understanding of gravitational harmonics. The knowledge revolutionized space travel. Warp drives became safer and more efficient. Singularity reactors operated with minimal risk. Cooperation replaced exploitation, and slowly the graveyard became something else entirely, not a place of death, but of guardianship. Decades later, human ships traveled openly among the dead suns. They no longer saw emptiness, they saw vast silent partners holding the galaxy together. Joint human and Narkai stations orbited several stabilized remnants. Scientists studied gravitational resonance alongside beings who could feel it as emotion. Children on Earth learned about the children of the final ember in school. They were taught that not all light shines visibly, some light exists as balance. As restraint, as unseen care, the Narkai continued their ancient duty, but now they were not alone. In one ceremony broadcast across interstellar networks, a human explorer volunteered for an experimental bond interface, not to replace an Narkai, but to understand them. For a brief moment, a human mind touched the compressed memory of a star that had died billions of years ago. The experience left the volunteer in tears. He described it simply: it was not darkness, it was quiet. The galaxy would continue to birth new stars and watch others fade. Civilizations would rise and fall, but in the silent regions where light had long vanished, guardians remained. They were the species that bonded with dead suns, not conquerors, not scavengers, but keepers of the quiet light, and because of them, the galaxy endured. Long after the alliance between humanity and the Narkai reshaped galactic policy, a new discovery emerged from the deepest regions of the graveyard. It began as a faint, irregular tremor in gravitational readings. At first, human scientists believed it to be residual instability from ancient collapses, but the Narkai reacted differently. They felt it. To them, the tremor was not a threat, it was a call. A star far older than any previously recorded remnant was stirring at the edge of total collapse into a singularity. Unlike the others, this one had never fully settled into quiet equilibrium. Its gravitational core pulsed with chaotic memory. The Narkai gathered in greater numbers than ever before. Human vessels formed a protective perimeter around the region. For the first time, both species prepared to bond with the dead sun together. The process was unlike anything seen before. Narkai forms synchronized in harmonic resonance, while human-built stabilizers amplified their gravitational control. Light bent into arcs around the dying core as space itself seemed to breathe. For hours that felt like centuries, the region trembled, then the chaos softened. The violent pulses slowed into steady rhythm. The ancient star did not become a destructive singularity. It became something new, a stabilized eternal ember sustained by two civilizations acting as one. In that moment, humanity understood something profound. The universe did not only belong to those who could ignite stars, it also belonged to those willing to sit beside their ashes, and in the quiet glow of a sun long dead, a future brighter than fusion was born. If you enjoyed this story, to make sure like the video, subscribe for more epic HFY adventures. Thank you.